Yeah. Hi guys. Good morning everyone. Uh, you guys are able to see my screen, right? Okay. Let's get started. So if we take our previous session, we are discussing about different kind of the stages, right? So which we are understanding that how exactly we can get work with the different kind of the stages, right? So while working with the blue prism, we need to be develop an objects or we need to be develop in a process, right? So if you want to be design any object or if you want to be design any process, we need to be take with the help of different kind of the stages here, right? In that stages, we are discussing about with the different kind of the stages here. So one, we will be mentioning that which you will be taking with the navigate stage, right? So one you will be taking with the navigate stage, and one you will be taking with the right stage, and one you will be taking with the link stage, and one you will be taking with the data item, and one you will be taking with the calculation, and one you will be taking with the decision here, right? So these are the different stages which we have been discussed about it here, right? Now in a similar manner, okay, so in a similar manner we need to be get understand about some more stages here. Okay, so we need to be get understand about with the some more stages that we will be understanding that what exactly mean by anchor stage and which you will be taking with the choice stage and which you will be taking with the circular path. Okay, now let's get understand that what exactly mean by this anchor stage and what exactly mean by this choice stage and which you will be taking with the circular path here. Okay, right. Let's look into that. First, let's take an example about with the circular path here. Okay. Now we'll get understand that how exactly we can get implemented with the circular path. Okay. For that, let me get design with the object here. The very first activity is we need to be get create a one object here. Let's create an object here, mentioning that create object. Now you will be taking with the anchor stage here. Okay, so which it will be taking with the anchor stage. Clicking on the next button and clicking on the finish. Okay, right. Then you will be taking with the double click on it. Right, now we can see here. You will be taking with the rename. If required, you can take with the rename, which you will be taking with the anchor stage here. Okay. Now we need to be perform all the respective things here. So first we will be taking with the start stage, which already knowing it to start with the execution, and which it will be taking with the end stage, which it will be stopping with the execution. Right? So now we need to be get understand that what exactly the purpose of the anchor stage here. Okay. So if I'm taking with the anchor stage, the functionality of the anchor stage is to design, okay, to design the flow, okay, to design the flow in a proper manner here. Okay, so to design the flow in a proper manner. That means what exactly mean by this is, now if you see here, let's take our previous example. We have been discussing about with the calculation stage. Okay, now let's take with the same thing. I will be taking with the two calculation stages here. To perform the calculation, which you will be taking with the help of the data item, you will be taking with the help of the data item. Okay, now according to the scenario, we need to be get understand that what are the data items need to be used. Right? So according to the scenario, we need to be get understand that what are the data items need to be used. Okay. So first we will be taking with the data item. I will be taking with the A, mentioning with the number that I will be taking with the 50, and I will be taking with the B, which I will be taking with the number, which you will be taking with the 20. And after that, it will be taking with the result underscore, it will be taking with the add, we will be taking with the number. Then it will be taking with the result underscore. Okay, so we'll be taking with the result underscore, which it will be taking with the subtraction, which it will be taking number. Okay, so now if we look into this, let me take with the calculation stage. First, I will be taking with the addition. Need to be get perform the addition, that I will be taking with the A, and I will be taking with the plus, which I will be taking with the B here. And then we need to be get stored with the result, I will be taking with the add here. Okay. And after that, again you will be taking with the subtraction, which you will be taking with the subtraction, that you will be taking with the A, and you will be taking with the minus, which you will be taking with the B here, that you will be taking with the subtraction here. Okay, well, now we need to be write in a one condition. So to write with the condition, you will be taking with the help of decision stage, you will be taking with the help of decision stage. We used to be write with the condition, in case of A is greater than B, then it has to be perform the addition, otherwise it has to be perform the subtraction. Okay, right, now we can see writing with the condition, taking with the A, which it will be taking with the greater than, it will be mentioning with the B. In case of A value is greater than B, then it has to be performed the addition, otherwise it has to be performed the subtraction. Okay, let's take with the connectivity. Taken with the decision, in case of decision is true, it will be taking with the addition, otherwise it will be taking with the subtraction, or which will be taking with the inactivity. Okay, now whenever we are performing with the addition, next we need to be take with the end activity. For that we will be taking this connectivity. Now we can look into this design here. If I'm taking with the functionality wise it is okay. For example, if I'm getting running it according to the functionality wise, it is perfectly working fine. But you can see the design here. If we look into the design, for the user it's not like in a very proper manner. These links are okay, but if I'm taking this design, it's not like in a very clear. Now what I will be doing is, let me take with the duplicate here. Now we can see the difference here. This is, we already done it. Now in this particular part, I will be taking with the help of anchored stage here. So here you will be able to see with the one built-in stage that you will be taking with the anchored stage. Now we can see how you will be taking with the connectivity. From the add, I will be taking with the anchored stage, and from the anchored stage, which you will be taking with the end activity. Okay. Now we can see how the design is done. Okay, coming to the functionality wise, everything is the same. We have not done any changes here. Functionality is okay, but you can see the difference. This is directly provided with the connectivity, but now I have been taken with the anchor stage, and then I'm taking with the end activity. Okay, so by this, for looking into the user, this connectivity is very clear. Now while executing, now we can see here, let me take slow mode only. While executing, first it will be taking with the condition. As condition is true, it will be taking with the addition, then it will take anchor stage. From there it will be taking with the end activity. Now we can see here, looking into the condition, first it will be taking with the addition. From addition it is taking anchor stage. From anchor stage, it will be taking end activity. Okay, so now again, let me take with the reset here. If I'm taking with the reset, let's take with the run activity. It will be looking into the condition and then it will be taking addition. From there, it will be taking with the anchor stage, and from there, it will be taking with the end activity. Okay, so this is what which it will be taking with the anchor stage here. So the objective of anchor stage is it will not be performing any functionality here. Okay, so it is not performing any functionality here. It is just designing with the flow. So to get a design with the flow, which it will be taking with the help of the anchor stage here. Okay, right. Now let's get understand on it how we can perform this particular activities. Okay, right. Now let's look into this. So this is what we will be taking anchor stage here. Okay. The similar manner we need to be get understand about with the choice stage here. Okay. So what exactly the purpose of the choice stage? Right. So what exactly the purpose of the choice stage is, which it will be mentioning that. Okay, so it will be mentioning that the purpose of the choice stage is, which it will be mentioning that to write, okay, to write, or we can say that to handle, okay, to handle multiple, okay, multiple conditions with multiple scenarios. Okay, so to handle multiple conditions with the multiple scenarios here. Okay, so if I'm taking with the choice stage, okay, so if I'm taking with the choice stage, which it will be mentioning that to handle multiple conditions with the multiple scenarios. Okay, so that means, okay, now whenever we are taking with the decision stage, we discussed about with the decision stage, we are able to write only one condition, right? If I'm taking with the decision stage, we are able to write with the only one condition. Okay, that means once we return the condition, in case of the condition is true, it will perform this activity. In case of condition is false, it will perform the next activity. Right? Sometimes you will be having the requirement to get right with the multiple conditions here. Okay, you will be getting with the requirement to write with the multiple conditions. Then how we can get implemented that multiple conditions? So to get implemented that multiple conditions, which you will be taking with the help of the choice stage here. Okay, so to get implemented with the multiple conditions, which you will be taking with the help of the choice stage here. Okay, now let's get understand that how exactly we can get implemented with the choice stage here. Okay, now let's understand on it how we can get implemented with the choice stage here. Right? Fine. Now let's look into this. Now let's take an example in what kind of scenarios we need to be take with the help of the choice stage. Take an example of the grade system. So if I'm taking with the student marks, okay, so if I'm taking with the student marks, based on the student marks, we need to be get decide with the grades, right? So based on the student marks, we need to be get to decide with the grades here. Right. So we need to be get understand on it how exactly we can define with the grades here. Okay. So if I'm taking with the grades, it will depends on the student marks. Assume that I'll be taking with the 95. Okay. So if I'm taking with the grades, one I will be taking with the grade A. When I will be saying that the grade A, in case if student marks, okay, so if I'm taking with the student marks, in case of student marks is greater than or equal to 90, then I will be saying that student is getting grade A. Okay, a student is getting with the marks of greater than or equal to 90, then you will be saying that grade A. This is one condition. You will be writing one more condition, which it will be taking with the one more condition that you will be taking grade B. When you will be saying that grade B, you will be mentioning that greater than or equal to. Okay, so greater than or equal to, or you can say that greater than 80, and okay, which it will be taking, and less than 90. So in between of 80 to 90. Okay, so in between of 80 to 90, which it will be saying that grade B here. Fine. So in between of 80 to 90, which it will be saying that grade B here. Next, we will be taking with the grade C, which it will be taking with the grade C here. Okay. If I am taking with the grade C, what I will be mentioning it, which it will be taking with the greater than 50, and which it will be taking with the less than 80. So in between of greater than 50 and then less than 80, which it will be saying that grade C here. Okay. Next, we will be taking with the grade D, which it will be taking with the grade D. Then we will be taking with the condition student marks is greater than 30, and which it will be taking less than 50. Okay, so this I will be taking with the grade D. Other than these condition, less than 30, then we will be saying that student has been failed. Okay, now we can see we are getting with the different type of conditions here, right? So according to the scenario, okay, so according to the scenario, we are getting with the requirement to get work with the different type of the conditions here, right? So according to the scenario, we are having with the requirement to get work with the different type of conditions here. Now, any of these conditions are not matching it, then finally we need to begin print with the statement is fail here. Now, if we look into this, we are having with the different kind of the conditions, or we can understand like different type of condition with the different scenario. Now here we cannot work with the decision stage. So if I'm taking with the decision stage, able to get right with the only one condition, and then taking with the output is S, or which will be taking with the output is no. Now to get implemented these grades or nothing but to get implemented with the multiple condition, it will be taking with the help of the choice stage. Okay, so which we will be taking with the help of the choice stage, right? Now let's get understand on it how we can get implemented with the choice stage here. Okay, let me close it. Okay, now let me create with the new object. First we will be creating with the new object here. I will be taking with the create object, and I will be mentioning that which will be taking with the choice stage here, which will be taking choice stage. Click on finish. Okay, then it will be taking with the double click activity, which you will be taking with the double click. Okay, now we can see how we can get implemented. So the very first thing is which we need to be take with the help of the choice stage here, right? So to take with the choice stage, just take with the drag and drop of choice stage. By default, you will be getting otherwise option. Okay, now we can see here. So if I'm taking with the choice stage, once you're done with the drag and drop of the choice stage, by default, you will be getting with the option is otherwise here. Okay, so otherwise means in case of any of the conditions is not matching. Okay, so in case of any of the conditions are not matching it, what it asked to be over. Okay, now in case of any condition is not matching it, which it will be saying that fail, right? Which it will be mentioning with the fail. Okay, right. Now we can look into the condition how we can work this respective conditions here. Okay, let's look into this. Now, first it will be taking with the double click on it, then it will be asking with the choice name, which it will be taking with the choice name, that it will be taking with the grades. Okay, so if I'm taking with the choice name, which it will be taking with the grades here. Now, before writing it, we required with the student marks, right? That it will be taking one data item, which it will be taking with the data item, mentioning that it will be taking with the student marks here. Okay, so for now we are taking with the data type is number, and it will be taking with the student marks, that I will be taking 95. Can take any marks. For now I have been just mentioning with the 95 here. Okay, now let's write with the condition here. Now we can see here. First it will be asking with the choice name. You will be taking with the choice name, that it will be mentioning with the grade A. Okay, so it will be taking with the choice name, that it will be taking with the grade A. Right now here, okay, we need to be write condition. So to write with the condition in a correct manner, let's take with the help of this expression editor, which it will be clicking on expression editor. Okay, so if I'm taking with the expression editor, okay, so if I'm taking with the expression editor, so here it will be writing that expression, mentioning the student marks, which it will be taking with the greater than, it will be taking with the 90. Okay, or we can say that greater than or equal to. Okay, which it will be saying that student marks greater than or equal to 90, then it will be considering a grade A. Click on validate, expression is valid. Then you can click on OK. Right, this is one condition we written. Now let me write one more condition. To write in a one more condition, again it will be taking add activity. So how many want to be get added, you can get added here. There is no limit here. According to the requirement, how many conditions you want to be write it, you can get right with any of the conditions. You don't have any limit here. Okay, so according to the requirement, how many conditions you want to be write it, you can get right with any of the conditions. You don't have any limit here. Okay, right, now let's look into this, how we can perform this respective activities. Now we can see here, let me click on add button, click on OK. For now we written only one condition, right? Click on OK. Now we can see you are able to see one icon got generated. Okay, so you are able to see whether the one particular icon is getting displaying it. That is nothing but we written with the only one condition here. Okay, so which we have been written with the only one condition here. Okay, let's write another conditions here, which I will be taken with the B, C, D. Okay, it will be taking with the grade B here, which I will be taking with the grade B. Will be taking with the grade B. Let's write with the condition here. Okay, student marks mentioning that greater than. B means what it has to be performed in between of 80 and 90. It will be taking with the 80, which it will be taking 80, and it will be taking and, which it will be taking with the student marks. Okay, then it will be taking with the less than, which it will be taking less than 90. Okay, now we can click on validate, expression is valid. Okay, now we can see here, it will be taken with the copy, click on validate, expression is valid. Okay, click on OK. Right, so one it will be taking with the grade A and one it will be taking grade B. And after that, which it will be taking with the grade C, which it will be taking with the grade C. Let me provide it. Almost same, right? So this I will be taking with the grade C, which will be taking 50 to 80. Okay, this I will be taking with the 50, taking with the 50, and after that it will be taking with the 80 here. Okay, then it will be taking with the grade D, which it will be taking with the grade D here. Okay, D means, okay, if I'm taking with the grade D, what we have to be performed, which it will be mentioning 30, and this I will be taking with the 50. Okay, so these are the conditions we are writing it. So other than these conditions, then we will be mentioning with the fail. Now we can see here, everything we written with the 4 conditions, right? Which it will be taking with the 4 icons here. So we don't have any limit here. According to the requirement, how many conditions you want to be write it, you can get right that many conditions here. Okay, right. Now we can see how we can get implemented, which I will be taking with the reset activity. Now, once our grade has been satisfied, next what it has to be told. It's need to be taken with the end activity. We already mentioning that which we can get work with the one individual stage, or which we will be taking multiple end stages. But to get design with the flow in a very correct manner, let me take with the help of anchor stage here, which I will be taking with the anchor stage. I will be taking with the anchor stage here, which I will be taking. Okay. So we'll be taking with the anchor stage here, which it will be taking with for each and every condition. Okay. For each and every condition, it will be taking with the help of the anchor stage here. Now we can see how you will be taking design activity. Okay, and then you will be taking with the end stage here. Right, now we can see the connectivity. First it will be taking grades. In case of any of the condition is not matching, then it will be taken with the fail. Otherwise it will be taken with the grade A, and which will be taken with the grade B, and it will be taken with the grade C, and which it will be taking grade D. Okay, so it will be taken with the grade A, it will be taken with the B, and then C and D. And once in case of grade A has been satisfied, then it has to be taken activity. Or B is done, it's need to be take, and C is done, it's need to be take, and D is done, it's need to be take with the end activity. Okay, right, then it will be taken with the reset. Fine. Now we can see here, let's get executed. Let me run in the slow mode only, which you will be taking with the slow mode here. Okay, so if I'm taking with the run, now what it has to be done, we given with the marks is 95, right? So 95 means it's need to be take grade A. Now we can see that taking with the anchor stage of the grade A, and then taking with the end activity. If you want, you can see once again here, I will be taking with the reset run activity, taking with the grade A, and then taking with the end activity. Right? Oh, okay. And after that, okay. So after that, once we done with the grade A, okay. So once we done with the grade A, assume that I will be changing with the marks. For example, I will be taking 83. 83 means what need to be done in between of 80 to 90 need to be take with the grade B. Okay, so let's see that whether it will be taking grade B or not. So it will be taking with the grade B, which it is taking grade B, and then taking with the end activity. Right, so once we have been done with the grade B, okay, so for example, assume that which I will be taking with the marks, so that I will be taking with the 40. In case if I'm taking with the 40, it's need to be take with the grade D. In between of 30 to 50, it's need to be take with the grade D. Now we can see here, it will be taking grade D. Right, in case of any conditions or not matching it, then it's need to be take with the end activity. So I will be taking with the reset. Okay, now let me take with the marks, which I will be taking with the 20. So if I'm taking with the 20, will be saying that it is a fail. Right, So if I'm taking with the 20, which it will be mentioning that it is a fail. So which I will be taking with the reset, then it will be taking run activity. Now we can see here it is taking with the fail and then taking with the inactivity here. Okay, so this is what which it will be getting working with the choice stage here. So that means if you are having with the requirement to get handled with the multiple conditions, with the multiple scenarios, then you will be taking with the help of the choice stage here. Okay, so clear about with the choice stage. Any clarification from here? Okay. Right. So now, till now, we are getting understanding about different kind of the conditions here, right? So understanding about how we can get work with the single condition, at the same time understanding about working with the multiple conditions here, right? So understanding that working with the single condition and understanding that which we will be taking with the multiple conditions here. Okay. Now, in a similar manner, we need to get understand about with the loops activity. Okay. So how we are writing with the conditions in a similar manner, we need to get implemented with the loop activity. Okay. So how we are getting implementing with the conditions. Okay. In a similar manner, we need to take with the loop activity here. Okay. Whenever we are working with the programming languages, if I'm taking with the programming languages, we used to be getting a different kind of loops here, right? So while working with the programming languages, we used to be getting a different kind of the loops here, right? For example, we used to be having a loop that will be taking with the while loop, and will be taking with the do while, and which will be taking with the for loop, and will be taking for each. Okay, so if I'm taking with the loop, one will be taking with the while loop, and one will be taking with the do while, and one will be taking with the for, and one will be taking with the for each, right? Now, in a similar manner, while working with the blue prism also, we can get implemented with the same activity. Okay. So whenever we are working with the blue prism also, we can get implemented with the same activity. Okay. So to get implemented, this loop activity, it will be taking with the help of the option that it will be taking with the circular path here. Okay, to get implemented with the loop activity, which will be taking with the help of the circular path here. While working with programming languages, you will be getting working with the different kind of the loop activity. But if I'm taking with the circular path, okay, if I'm taking with the circular path, which it will be getting implemented loop activity. So how exactly we can get implemented with the loop activity? Okay. Take an example of the for loop. Okay. While working with the programming languages, if I'm taking with the for loop, how we are getting implementing with the for loop here. So if I'm taking with the help of the for loop, now we can see here, first it will be taking with the initialization, after that it will be taking with the condition, after that it will be taking with the increment. If we take an example, first it will be taking with the initialization, that it will be mentioning that int I equal to 10. Then it will be writing with the condition, which it will be taking I is less than or equal to 20. Then you will be writing I plus plus here. Okay, so which it will be taking with the I plus plus here, right? Now here, okay, so which it will be printing that particular statement. So if for example it will be taking system dot out dot println, this it will be taking with the I here. Okay, by this it will be getting starting from the 10 and then it will be getting printed up to 20. So loop is nothing but we are performing the repeated activity. So to perform the same thing multiple times, which we will be taking with the help of the loop. So if I am taking with the number, printing the number, for example, first we are getting printing with the 10. Then we will be taking with the plus 1, it will become an 11. Then we will be taking with the plus 2, it will become an 12. Like that, every time you need to be get increment by 1. Performing with the same activity, right? So to get implemented that, we will be taking with the help of the for loop. Okay, right. So now we need to be get understand the same activity. So the same for loop activity while working with the circular path, how we can get implemented. Let's look into this. Now we can see the very first activity is we are providing with the starting value and you are taking with the ending value. Now while working with the blue prism, okay, while working with the blue prism to get implemented with the circular path, which will be taking with the help of the data items here. Okay, so we'll be taking with the help of the data items that you will be mentioning that you will be taking loop start value. Okay, and which you will be taking with the loop end value. Okay, so which it will be taking with the loop start value and it will be taking with the loop end value. Assume that needs to be get started from 10 and which it need to be stop up to 20. Okay, so to get implemented with the circular path, it will be taking with the help of the data item that it will be mentioning that it will be taking with the loop start value and which it will be taking with the loop end value here. Okay, right, fine. And after that, once we done with the data items, okay, so once we have been done with the data items, next activity is we need to be take with the increment, right? Loop need to be done with the increment here. So for that it will be taking with the help of the calculation stage, which it will be taking calculation stage to take with the loop increment here. Okay, so we'll be taking with the help of the calculation stage to make with the loop increment here. Right, once we have been done with the loop increment, okay, once we done with the loop increment, then we need to be write it whether the loop has to be continued or not. We need to be write in a condition whether the loop has to be continued or not. So to write with the condition, okay, to write with the condition which we will be taking with the decision stage. It will be taking with the decision stage to continue the loop here. To get continue the loop activity, it will be taking with the help of the decision here. Okay, so one it will be taking with the help of data item, and one it will be taking with the help of calculation, and one it will be taking with the help of decision. So with the help of these stages, we need to be get implemented with the same circular path here. Now we can see how we can get implemented these things here. Okay, let's look into this. Let me close it. Save. Okay. Now create with the new object, which you will be getting creating with the new object, creating with the new object, which it will be taking circular path here. Finish. Okay. Let's take with the double click here. Okay. Right. Now it will be taking with the help of rename. Rename is not like mandatory. If required, you can take with the rename. Otherwise, you can take with the same name, which I will be taking circular path. Okay. So to get implemented with the circular path, what are the things we required? First, we required with the two data items, right? which you will be taking with the help of two data items. Let me take with the two data items here. Okay, then what you have to be do is, which we need to be take with the loop start value. It will be taking with the number in which it will be taking 0. Okay. Then you will be taking with the loop end value, which you will be taking loop end value. For now, I'll be taking with the loop end up to 10 only. So I will be taking with the number is 10. Okay. Now to take with the loop start value and to take with the loop end value, we require with the data item, which we will be taking with the help of the data item here. Okay, right. Next words need to be done. So we required with the condition, right? We required with the calculation stage to reach with the loop increment. Let's take with the calculation stage. So we'll be taking with the calculation stage, which we will be mentioning the loop increment here. Okay, so if I'm taking with the loop increment, I'm taking with the loop start value plus it will be taking 1 and getting storing in the same variable. So we can see how it will be working. But the first time loop start value is 0, right? It will take 0 plus 1, that it will get store it. Again it will take 1 plus 1, it will become an 2, it will store it. Again it will take 2 plus 1, it will become an 3, again it will get store it. Okay, so like that it will be taking with the store activity. I mean taking with the loop increment. Okay, next it will be taking with the loop continued, that we required with the decision stage, which it will be taking decision stage. Perform double click on it, which will be mentioning that loop continued. Up to what is the condition your loop has to be continued? It will be taking with the loop start value. Loop start value should be less than loop end value. Until unless loop start value is less than loop end value, then it will be clicking on the OK button. Right, now we can see here. Let's take with the connectivity. Take him with the loop increment and then take him with the condition. But in case of condition is true, okay, it's need to be continue the loop activity, right? So to continue the loop activity, we cannot design with the circle here. So while working with the blue prism, we don't have that possibility. So for that, we can take with the help of the anchor stage. We can see how we can take with the help of anchor stage. So this I will be taking. Okay, I'll be taking with the anchor stage. From there, I will be taking loop activity. Okay, reset, and I will be taking with the loop activity here. Fine. Now we can see how it will be getting implemented here. Okay. One I will be taking with the start activity, so which I will be taking with the loop increment, and then I will be taking with the loop continued here. Now we can see how it will be working it. So it will be taking with the start stage, right? So I will be taking with the start stage, and which it will be taking with the loop increment. So first is loop start value 0, right? 0 plus 1, it will be taking 1. Then it will look into the condition, 1 is less than 10, it will be true, it will be continued loop. Again it will get incremented. It will become 2 plus 1, then it will look into the condition, 2 is less than 10, it will be true, again it will be continued with the loop activity. Okay, so until unless your condition is failing it, that many times it will be continued with the loop activity. Okay, now we can see here. Let me take with the reset and run it. Taking with the start, using with the loop increment. Okay, why it is taking end here? Okay, so in case of true, now we can see here. In case of this condition is true, we are taking with the S and then taking end activity. Okay, so because of that reason, it is not taking the loop activity. This condition should be interchanged, right? Here we need to be get an S and here we need to be get with the no. For that, what you can do is just you can take with the right click and take with the option is switch. Now we can see here it will be switching with the condition. Okay, now we can see here. If I'm taking with the reset, taking with the loop increment, again taking with, now you can see the loop value. Loop value you are getting with the 1, okay, and then it will be taking with the 2. Okay, now taking with the 6. So until unless loop condition is failing it, that many times it will be continued with the loop activity. Now taking with the 8. Once value is reaching to 10, then it will be taking end activity. Okay, now we can see here. So this is what it will be taking with the loop, nothing but circular path. We are taking with the circular only, right? This is it will be considered a one circular. That is what it will be saying, that circular path. If I'm taking with the circular path, it's not like in a built-in stage. Okay, it's not like in a built-in stage here, so which it is getting implementing with the circular path activity, nothing but loop activity here. So now assume that you are having with the requirement to take with the increment will be the 2. Then in case if you want to be take with the increment by 2, you can take with the double click on it, which you can take with the 2 also here. Okay, so which you will be taking with the loop increment will be the 2 also here. Now we can see here, it will be taking with the okay, then it will be taking with the reset, and it will be taking run activity. Right, now we can see here, every time it is getting incrementing by 2 here. Right, end activity. Okay, so this is what it will be getting implementing with the circular path here. So now if we look into this, while working with the normal programming languages, how we are able to write with the conditions in a similar manner in Blue Prism also we are able to write with the conditions here. Right, it's not like only condition, able to write with the conditions, able to get implemented with the loop activity, able to get stored with the data. While working with the normal programming languages, whatever the activities we can perform, all the things we are getting implemented. Okay, so this is how which it will be getting working with the different kind of stages here. Okay, so now we are understanding about one is anchored stage, and one will be taking choice stage, and one will be taking circular path. Circular path is not like in a stage, it is a concept of to get implemented with the loop activity. Okay, now all these stages which it will be considered with the basic stages here. Next we need to be take with the little bit advanced level. Okay, so if I'm taking with the little bit advanced stages, okay, so if I'm taking with the little bit advanced stages, that it will be taking with the statement, taking with the stages, that it will be taking with the collection. Okay, we need to be discussed about with the collection, and we need to be get implemented with the loop stage, and then okay, we will be taking with the help of the multi calculation. Okay, so we need to be take with the help of the calculation stage, and we need to be take with the loop activity, and we need to be take with the multi calculation here. Okay, so we need to be get understand that how exactly we can get implemented these stages here. Okay, so these things you can consider like in a little bit advanced level here, need to be get understand that how we can get implemented here. Okay, right. So this we'll be discussing tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be discussing about this particular stages, and we'll get understand that what exactly functionality of these stages here. Okay, so by that we'll be covering, we are understanding with the most of the stages to get design with the flow. Next we'll get understand that how exactly we can design with the flow with the help of these stages here. Okay, so clear up to this? Any clarifications from here about all the stages? Okay. So if you don't have any questions, we can get exit from the meeting. So meet you tomorrow. So tomorrow will be continued with the remaining stages here. Okay. Right. Thanks everyone. Thank you guys.